I definitely grew up listening to a lot of different genres, but kind of the music style that like stuck with me for the longest was whatever my dad was listening to. Like a lot of 80s rock and roll and kind of bluesy stuff.
I was a big Disney Channel girl, guys. That was my everything. High School Musical. Slid. But now I listen to pop and alternative surfy music. I just have big genres. But I listen to pop the most.
So my dad had like this CD rack, and obviously all the CDs had the album covers on it, so I would look at those when I was younger, and I obviously wouldn't listen to a lot of them, but then as I kind of got older and like got my own Spotify, I would start listening, and I'd listen to a lot of the Rolling Stones, and I kind of, once I started graphic design at school, I started to really admire kind of the overall aesthetics and style of the album covers that they were producing and kind of the grunginess of it, and I would say that those types of covers and posters and all that type of stuff really stuck with me the most.
I am obsessed with Harry Styles. He's my favorite person and I love what he stands for. So yeah, I just love everything about him and I'm very much inspired by his music. I love his new album that's coming out. Like the cover, just everything he does like for his marketing is so interesting. You can like tell that he really puts time and effort into what he does. But something that I just really like about him is that he's like different. It's not like always going to be the same thing, and it's always like a surprise on what he does and what he wears. Even with his music, like you never really know what it's going to be. I just love everything about him, his style, his music, his album covers.
I feel like a lot of what we're seeing right now in like design trends is kind of minimalism and softer tones, and something that I appreciate a lot in design is kind of bold colors and things that really stand out. So that's kind of where the biggest influence comes in for me, and that's especially from seeing like those posters and kind of the overall feeling and vibe of the music that I grew up listening to now has the biggest influence on my like design style and kind of the inspiration that I get from. And so I don't know, I think it's important to stay true to your inspiration instead of going with what's trending.
Very much inspired by his music, his lyrics, and that kind of translates into my designs and like what I make in my free time. I think his lyrics are very meaningful and like what he says is very meaningful, and I stand for like being positive and kind. And so like a lot of the things that he says or a lot of the lyrics that he has in his music like translates into what I make and why I make it. Lovers and Lace is a brand that I started when I was 16, but I met a group of girls and we started an Instagram account based on music and graphic design. I currently create products based off of Mr. Styles himself, and just a lot of the quotes that he says, which I find to be very close to my heart. So